Right, we were supposed to be here at 4:30 initially. Then we thought about 6:30, but here we are around 9 because we certainly sometimes don't know when and how the BCCI are going to announce squads. They've been made a huge important call in terms of announcing the squad for the tour of South Africa. My name's Apni Shaikh, and there's Gurkirat and Somesh Agarwal to make sense of this squad. And as you can see, the names will be trickled, of course, in the ticker. We'll show you some graphics and tell us in the comments what you guys feel. I'll ask Somesh first and foremost what his thoughts are about each format and, of course, each player. But your first thoughts about this squad and the squads, I should say.
Happy, I think, largely along the lines of what I wanted the squads to be. I go format by format. T20s, I'm pretty happy that India have stuck with the players that have been having good IPLs for the past 2-3 years and have not sort of mixed formats and have picked players who have not, who've done well in other formats but not so much in T20s. That's one. Again, Test squad, largely happy. Good to see Kale back because I think last time when India toured in South Africa, he scored 100. He was the captain as well when Kohli was not around for the. He missed 2 tests, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Second test.
Yeah, somehow and Kale got 100 in the first test. I think the first test also Kohli wasn't there, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was there. Kohli did not play the second test due to back spasm.
Okay, so so good to see him back. It looks like the team has moved on from Rahane, which seems a little bizarre given that he was the vice captain during the West Indies tour. Even on the ODIs, largely on expected lines. One name that I'm yet to get my head around is the omission of Shardul Thakur from ODIs, because I mean he was not very active in the World Cup as well, so I don't think he's rested. But if he's dropped, then maybe then they have like really good reports about Deepak Chahar's fitness. They're trusting him to sort of go the distance. So yeah, largely these are my initial thoughts.
Okay, we'll break it down further, of course, with you and answer some plaguing questions which we have, not for just Gurkirat and Somesh, but for all you guys to chip in with your thoughts below. If you guys are just joining us, please hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. At just about 38.8 in terms of YouTube. Gurkirat, good to see you. This dilly-dallying in terms of squad announcement, finally we see it. What have you made of it? 3 formats, 3 different captains.
Yeah, firstly, I'm happy that India have chosen to move on from Ajinkya Rahane in Test matches. This was something that I did not expect, so a happy surprise. Happy that Sai Sudarshan and Rajat Patidar have got an ODI call up. Now, how will they make space for him is going to be interesting. Ruturaj Gaikwad is there in the Test squad. I think he was there in West Indies as well, but again, I'm not sure how is he going to get into the 11. We expected Prasidh Krishna to be there. There's a star against Mohammad Shami, which is probably subject to fitness, so would be a good test. I am also surprised that there is no Akshar Patel in T20Is. That is something. Kuldeep is back, which I expected. Siraj is back, which I expected. Shreyas Iyer is there, which again was expected, given he's going to be in the 2 T20Is versus Australia in the remaining. But Jadeja being vice captain in T20Is is something that I don't know, and don't know
there
how
are a
to
few
make sense
baffling
of.
calls, Gurkirat. I mean, even the fact that, like you pointed out, Akshar being left out, Chahal being back in the scheme of things for ODI. Somesh, did you see that coming? Because even this lad in the comments asked that particular question.
I think it makes sense. He's not there in the T20 squad. He's not anywhere close to the Test team. But I mean, the point is, even at this moment, let's say if you look at the 2025 Champions Trophy for that matter, India always will have to be prepared for the scenario that if, let's say, Kuldeep is not playing, then who the second person is who's ready. At this point of time, that person is Chahal. Of course, things can change till then. But I mean, at this point of time, you have to keep him around the setup to ensure that you clearly have an idea of what's going on and who are your first choice replacements.
Okay. And I think with the vice captaincy of Jadeja, Gurkirat, do you think that already Akshar can kiss that World Cup goodbye?
It could happen, but would be unfair, really, because Forget Jadeja being the vice captain. I'm not even sure how Jadeja makes it to the 11, given how he's been batting in recent times. And Chahal being in the ODI scheme of things again is something that I am not very happy with. This was probably a chance to give Bishnoi a go. Again, I don't understand why, because we've not seen any development in Chehal's game for some time now, right? Uh, and how many spinners are you going to take to South Africa? Because there's Akshar Patel, there's Washington Sundar, there's Kuldeep Yadav, and there's Yuzvendra Chahal. So there is no way that I don't see India playing more than two in any of the games, right?
I
So
think
you
in
anyway
India
have
A
four.
series also, I think they'll probably play those side games if they don't get the nod in the main ones, right?
Probably because see Kuldeep Yadav is fixed in your first 11. Then you will probably play because there is no Jadeja in ODIs. There is no Jadeja in ODIs, but Jadeja is in T20Is. So probably that means Akshar will play in ODIs. And again, Akshar and Sanju Samson are are probably in a similar boat, like
And
in a T20
I'm
World
glad
Cup
that you
where
brought up Sanju Samson because it just makes me ask you guys because KL is going to captain and keep presumably. So does that mean Sanju is just going to be in as a batter, pretty much like what Sky did for India in the World Cup?
Yeah, I think in my just sort of quickly jotted down the 11 that I would want India to play. Sanju is definitely
Please.
there as a batter,
Yeah.
so that doesn't change. Even if KL is keeping, or maybe if Sanju is there, and he might go ahead and keep as well. Because I mean, the
Okay.
point is, that if you look at his Sanju's numbers, he must have been gutted to miss out on the World Cup. But now that that ship has sailed and India have plenty of spots to fill, right? I mean, there is no Virat, so some of the others might automatically move to number 3. So there is a spot available. There is no Hardik as well. So I think on every count, I think Sanju makes it to the starting 11, irrespective of the fact that he's keeping or not.
Okay, interesting call by you, Som, because I just really reckon how that ODI series will go for India because, of course, the next real big tournament that
also
we need to talk about is the Champions
also
Trophy.
I have another observation. There is no Ishan Kishan in the ODI team.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a
So
good observation.
So again, uh, hard to make sense of why, because didn't do much wrong, and so it's see, this is why a press conference would have been nice, because right now there are far too many questions over answers. Because why would you drop Ishan Kishan from the ODI squad when he was there in the World Cup squad and he was your backup opener? He even batted in the middle order as a backup to one of Shreyas or KL. So
Correct.
just
Yeah, but
difficult
I
to
mean,
make sense of.
is he's dropped or rested, we can't say, because even Shubman Gill is not there in the ODI team.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Shubman Gill
That,
is
that
not there.
that's a good one to point out as well, guys. By the way, all you guys watching, please quickly like this so we can, of course, tell all the other people watching around, kind of scanning through their phones, where to get all the knowledge. We'll tell you right now. We'll tell you our opinions about it, and you can jump in with your comments below. Good to see you, Crick Nerd, Uncle Riswas. I might not be addressing each comment because we have a little structure on this off the cuff live, and I will start with, of course, a few plaguing points that we want to answer now. One should be this. Okay, we'll start right from the get go, guys. Somesh and Gurkirat. Who should lead India at the T20 World Cup? Rohit or Pandya. Now, both of them aren't going to be in the T20 squad. Rohit, of course, has asked for a break. That's what the BCCI have come up with and said. And then Hardik is injured. But my question to you before you answer these little five nuggets we have is that who do you see as a long-term T20 international captain? Is it Hardik Pandya or is it Surya Kumar Yadav? Because I'll tell you, I think why they would persist with Sky, because he's a batter and he's less to get injury prone. But I don't know. That's just my opinion in it. So we'll start with you and then Gurkira.
The tricky part of this question is, I mean, see, answer for me, I'll start with the answer. Answer is obvious that, in my opinion, India should move on from Rohit in T20s and Hardik Pandya should be leading India. But my immediate worry is, of those that I mean, or all of us would want to play in the T20 World Cup, none of them are actually captaining their franchise. So it becomes very difficult that this tournament, which is slated to start just 10 days after the IPL, you are proposing a captain who's not even leading his franchise, which it doesn't sit well in terms of optics, and it makes me difficult to believe that that is going to be the case. However, I'll go back and say that I would want Hardik to lead and Hardik to sort of be now slated as the T20 captain for sure for India in the longer run. However, given his record of fitness, India, the number one objective for India looking at the T20 World Cup should be to prepare themselves from now of a scenario when Hardik is not available.
Is it also because the fact that, Gurkirat, you think about Hardik Pandya and how much we extract out of him as a T20 pro, bats, bowls, now of course ask him to captain and probably take charge before the World Cup. Do you think it'll be better that I know it's a weird time to groom any captain, let alone Sky, but in the long term, do you think it'll be just a short-term fix with Hardik over here, but then eventually they're thinking Sky in their vision?
You see, at this point of time, you're not even sure what the vision is. For me, Rohit doesn't make the squad, let alone be a captain. If you don't have, if Hardik's injured, then you make whosoever is the next in line. If that guy's been the vice captain, you make that guy the captain. Now he may have not been the captain for his franchise, but then this is how you set up, right? This was something which was always coming. You did not have the foresight to plan things that way. So you cannot. I mean, I'm still okay with making someone the captain who's not captain the franchise than make someone the captain who doesn't make the 11 for me or the squad. So I am very clear on that. And yeah, see, I don't know how they are going to manage the fitness. Maybe, you know, be a little more careful with Hardik, because we also know that there is no replacement for Hardik Pandya. We've not had one replacement for Hardik Pandya, and there's not been one which is being groomed either. Shivam Dubey has not gotten enough bowling in whatever matches he's played. Vijay Shankar has not been on the radar of selectors, so that's about it. And Venkatesh Iyer was dropped after 5 games, so you haven't groomed a replacement. And if you just go back to someone to for the sake of not having a captain, then it reflects very poorly on you, that despite having the best T20 league, despite having such a robust system as what you call in your domestic circuit, if you're still not able to find a captain, then I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be pretty much 8 games then for Sky as T20 captain. I'm already counting the 3 that he's, of course, done in the series against Australia. 2 more coming up, which we doing watch-alongs for, by the way, and then 3 against South Africa. So we'll wait and simmer how that particular story goes, especially with the T20 World Cup absolutely beckoning so quickly. It just makes you think a little bit more about that. The point number 2 then, should there be 2 wicket keepers, and who should it be essentially? Now we're looking at the ODI squad first, and then we'll go to the T20s. ODI squad, you have Sanju and KL. KL was phenomenal in the last World Cup, and I'm guessing he'll probably bat a position higher, like Some said, not the traditional 5 that he was slotted at the World Cup. Where does that leave Sanju? And also, does it tell us more about Ishan Kishan, the point that you guys made? Som?
Yeah, I think ODI is pretty much sorted. Like we said, I mean, 2 wicket keepers in the squad is absolutely mandatory. If not anything else, if not in the 11, you'd always want an option. If your keeper is injured, you would need that option. So in ODI, I think it's pretty clear for me. KL would bat at 3 and KL would bat at 4 and Sanju would bat at 5. So that's pretty much it. For T20s, I think time is running out for India to actually groom anyone. They've stuck with Kishan. They've tried to fit him in various roles that he has not done throughout his young cricket career so far. They've tried to make him a number 4 in ODIs. They've now tried to make him a number 3 in T20s. India have not given Jitesh Sharma a run, and if he's not given a run in home games, it's tough to see him being selected ahead of Ishan Kishan in South Africa. So at this point of time, I think, I mean, they are leaving themselves to play Kishan. And for
Maybe
me,
I think sorry.
Just to finish that point, for me, if Kishan is playing, then just give him the opening spot, because if you cannot not have a wicket keeper, you have to choose someone who can keep. And if you are short of Kishan that being that guy, just give him the spot which is natural to him rather than tinkering with his batting spot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the 11 in the next T20 in the next 2 games will probably give us a better idea. And see, Ishan Kishan has been a very complex case in the sense that you felt just on what you've seen in his game that he is not going to be the best fit to be a middle order batter in ODIs or to even be a number three in T20s. But to his credit, he's just found a way somehow or the other. He's in so many innings he started off poorly, but he's found a way. In West Indies also, as an opener, he had three back to back 50s where no one else could really do much, and those were tough wickets to bat on. So it's just been a curious case because uh, it makes sense why he's behind the pecking order when it comes to when you look at the other players who are competing with the spot. Because if you look at the openers that are there in ODIs, there was Rohit and Gill, and now if Rohit's not there, there is Yashasvi who's not in the ODI squad, but he's also there in the reckoning. Then there is Rutu who's done no wrong. So there's a reason why he's behind the pecking order, because the other players are more skilled. However, he's done whatever he could have. So it's going to be a very curious case. I don't know. Maybe it could be possible that he ends up for the T20 World Cup. He ends up in the same boat as what Sanju Samson did for the ODI World Cup. You can perform, but eventually, if the team management rates other options better than you, then you will have to miss out. So it could be that case. A little too early to say that, but I won't be surprised if that happens eventually. And Sumesh was talking about maybe KL being four, and I think Shreyas will be three in his 11, and then Samson being five. But then who's batting at six? Is it Rinku? Is it Rinku in ODIs? You're on
So
mute.
mission on mute.
No, just checking with you. Which format are you talking about?
I'm talking about ODIs because KL Rahul is there in ODIs, right? Because
Yeah.
you said
Yeah, I mean, so I was looking at it. I think at this point of time, India will have to gamble with Washington Sundar at six, because with no Hardik Pandya, you cannot just fill your 11 with players who can't bowl.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you have a top five of Gaikwad, who would open with him? I think Sai Sudarshan maybe at this point of time.
In fact,
Either
one
him
second,
or
Tom, I'll just help you out by putting
yeah.
out that graphic right now, so we can all kind of break it down, and it will tell us as
So
we see on our
this is the
screen.
test.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
a test squad. Sorry, where is the ODIs? One second, we'll just get back to you, and that is maybe a little
So
error with that.
maybe that test squad is the ODI squad. The
Yeah, with the
header.
graphic. So we'll just get it changed. And meanwhile, I mean, talk to me about T20s for starters. Okay, what's your 11 here? Because it's pretty much, is it straightforward what we're seeing right now in the Australian series?
Yeah, but with a little change, I would want Kishan to open with Jaiswal, and Gill moves at number three, because I think he's more capable of taking down spinners in the if he comes lower down the order. And four is Sky, five Tilak. There is no other alternate. Six has to be Rinku, and then Jadeja, Deepak Chahar, Mukesh, Bishnoi, and Siraj. I'm not very comfortable with Tilak at five, because I think that's very harsh on him because he's batting out of position. But I mean, you have no other alternate at this point of time. But I would say that it's high time that India uh, start bowling Tilak and Jaiswal, because if let's say Hardik is not fit for the T20 World Cup, you'd have to have these at six bowling option. You cannot always just get in with just five bowlers. I know it worked decently well in in the 50 over World Cup till at least the finals, but that cannot be your go-to plan. That's something. I mean, that's impressive that that squad were able to pull themselves together. But I mean, just one injury to any other bowler in some game, and I mean, probably India would have not even made the final. So can't prepare for a scenario like this. They should be better prepared with more options.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that you make. Now, we'll, of course, pick the bones about the all-rounders, the bowling all-rounders in all three squads, let alone the white ball squads. And we'll talk about who's going to be partnering just with Bumrah. But yeah, Gurkeet, go on.
Yeah, so in Somesh's T20 11, there is no Shreyas Iyer.
Yeah.
But he's in the squad, and I don't know how will they drop him, because
I mean,
he's now sort of become a senior when it comes to the next batch, and I do eventually see him playing. So, but I have no idea how will they fit him, because I agree with the 11 that Sumesh had, that if you are going to have Kishan, you might as well open with him. So I think what will eventually probably happen is Gill will open, Shreyas will be at three, and then
Later on,
Probably
this one.
no. I don't think like Nick like Sumesh was saying. Probably Tilak will go out. Rinku would be 5, or Jitesh would be 5, and Rinku would be 6.
Yeah, ideally that is one more scenario. That's the only scenario how Shreyas plays. Because then
Yeah,
you'll have to start playing Jitesh Sharma. Because when will you
yeah,
do it? Because he has
yeah.
been part of the team for a while
Yeah,
now, but he's not
which is why
playing.
I'm saying that the 11 in the next two T20 11s will give us a better idea, because we were on the watch along, and Nikhil and I both had the opinion that if you want to play Shreyas as well as Tilak, you have no other option but to rest Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take some comments as well. We'll just get your thoughts about some other plaguing questions. Kanan, be good to see you in the chat. I guess I had a 3, Tilak at 4, KL at 5, Sanju at 6 would be the way to go. And
When he's
Crick
talking
Nerd,
about ODI.
I think he's talking about ODIs. Sky should play at 3, number 3 can't be an anchor. And Vimal Mohan saying, what's the point of bilaterals if team doesn't give the 6th bowler a
Yeah.
chance? Only time will tell if the last 2 T20 internationals, they will, of course, experiment with bowling changes, which will always get to be. Indeed. Amit Dubey, good to see you as well. Keep your thoughts coming through. We'll take all your questions, of course, and the fag end of the show. I just still want to pick Somesh and Gurkirat's minds about the various squads, especially the test squad as well, but also answer a couple more questions. Now, we were just debating a while ago about whether Shreyas will get the call up in the 11 for the World Cup. But, guys, I just want to share it again. Will Kohli get a place in T20 internationals going forward because he's requested for a break? What do you guys? What's your hunch? What do you think will happen in reality, and what do you think should happen in your mind?
See,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're going to make space for Rohit, there is no way on merit you drop Kohli. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So it's that for me, it's time to move on. I have repeated it now, I think 5 times in the last 7 days whenever I've been here. Because see, there you have to look at the conditions, you have to look at the players that have it's also unfair on all the other players that you've tried in bilaterals. I am by no means equating or putting both Rohit and Virat in the same bracket when it comes to T20 eyes. I don't think it's a comparison. Virat has been clearly the superior player in this format, and probably there's a case you can argue that he's definitely the superior batter in all three formats, without any disrespecting or throwing shade at Rohit. So for me, Virat doesn't find a place right now, and if Virat doesn't find a place, there is not even a question of even thinking that how does Rohit find a place. Simple as that.
What about you, Som? I know that we've kind of played devil's advocate with each other in office as well, but honestly, tell me your thoughts.
No, I agree. I think Rohit definitely no. The only maybe point here is if he ends up having a very big shot IPL, which I mean, if it hasn't happened for 6 years, it's tough to see how it will happen now. And the point about Rohit is there are so many better openers who've done a better job in T20 cricket altogether for India. Not for India, at least. I mean, who have been doing well in the IPL and are Indians. So if Rohit comes in, then you will have to be dropping a very serious talent. Because if you end up dropping Jaiswal, Gill, whoever, even Ruturaj Gaikwad for that matter, then you are actually dropping a very serious talent at the moment. And at the same time, same applies for Kohli. Because if you're playing Kohli, then you are either dropping, you're maybe dropping Tilak Verma, which at this point of time doesn't sit right. Because they have sort of been more well-rounded in terms of the approach needed in the T20 scheme of things. So on that, I think on merit it doesn't deserve a call, and you cannot always go back and say that they've had such a good World Cup. Let's have them back, because then imagine the scenario if they end up having a decent enough T20 World Cup, but India don't go all the way. Will this cycle keep continuing, and where will you put an end to it? So I mean, you have to take tough calls somewhere or the other.
Again, just going back to the fact that it's in the US, and again, not to make a silly point, but I'm just going to be thinking from a BCCI ICC lens. Wouldn't you see Rohit and Kohli play that particular fixture in New York against Pakistan and play the World Cup ultimately, because it's so close, and given the fact that it's that part of the world? So they will have something to milk in terms of the cash cow, correct? Cricketing logic, I completely get your valid points, both of you all, Gurkirat and Som.
I'm not even I'm not even answering this question.
Okay, fair. I mean, the people know it in the chat as well. I mean, some of the people in the watch along was saying that, listen, Abnish is right with regards to how it might really fizzle out. We might debate, in terms of, oh yeah, will Kohli suit the pitches in the West Indies? Oh, it's another chance. And what about this transition period? But before we know it, it'll be Rohit and Kohli probably playing and plying their trade. They've asked for a break in the white ball format, right? What does that mean, Somesh? What does that mean?
I think you are reading too much into it, because in Indian cricket, no one is ever dropped. Either they ask for a break, or they are given a break, or they have a niggle.
Or they have a
So in
niggle.
this case, they've asked for a break, both Rohit and Virat, right?
I mean, if you believe the official tweet, that's it. The point is, you cannot believe everything. At this point of time, just an hour back, all of us are here. There were people who were tweeting that Rohit would be playing the T20, he'd be captaining the T20 set, and they actually went on to delete the tweet. And I mean, the point is, we should not be reading a lot into it. At this point of time, the T20 series starts a month after the World Cup. So I don't see any real reason for anyone asking for a rest. This is the second last series that you will be playing before the World Cup. After that, you just have 3 T20s against Afghanistan. So if you have actually some serious thoughts of playing the World Cup, you should be playing the series. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, you want to rest, take a rest from the ODI series. I completely understand. And even after just 2 tests, it's not a 5-test series. You have to play 2 tests. You can skip the other legs of the Afghanistan series.
I just want to ask, fair point. I just want to ask Gurkirat then, why haven't they made it in terms of officially retiring? Do they see life in that format still? Personally, do you think Virat and Rohit still fancy their chances?
Egos to satisfy, broadcasters to be kept happy.
So that's what I'm saying. Your latter point is basically what I'm kind of proving, right? The fact that eventually we'll see these two come to the fore again.
See, if it is because you cannot market an India-Pakistan game, then you should just leave your job as a broadcaster or as an administrator. मतलब ऐसा थोड़ी ना विराट कोहली और रोहित शर्मा से पहले you were not hyped for India-Pakistan games, or you won't be after that. I mean, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma was the first time both of them together played a India-Pakistan game. I think it was 2009 Champions Trophy maybe. Together I'm talking about, or maybe even then. So
I don't think Rohit played that game.
Yeah, so because 2011 Rohit was not there, so you probably, okay, then it's the 2012 World T20, then 2012 World T20. So yeah, this is a absurd logic. I think it's just being a narrative which is being created, because if you can't sell an India Pakistan fixture, then you should get out of this job. Simple as that.
Kalinji has a very good point. I mean, they would say sky is rested from the ODIs. I mean, why? I mean,
coming to ODIs, by the way, ODIs, now I don't see Prasidh in the squad. Now, if Prasidh has been dropped from the ODI squad, then it's a severe lack of confidence, because he was in your World Cup squad. So if you've just dropped him on the basis of 3 T20Is, then it's absurd. It's very absurd. It's a severe lack of confidence. This is the problem.
I think we can just take a look at that squad again right now, and we'll just confirm it for you all. The ODIs, which of course starts on the 17th of December and the 19th and the 21st respectively, with the test series starting 5 days later on Boxing Day. But the ODI squad, wicketkeeper and captain KL, so he'll, of course, who knows if it's the next ODI captain and Rohit stepped down, but we can only speculate at this moment in time. There are some interesting selections, as you can see. Rajat Patidar, Sanju Samson, how will they fit in terms of the starting 11, or if they do fit in the starting 11. Yuzvendra Chahal is back with his partner in crime, Kuldeep Yadav. Will they bowl together, or will it be an addition for Sundar and Akshay Patel for that 2025 Champions Trophy if it happens? And then Mukesh Kumar, the newlywed, of course, with Avesh Khan, Arshdeep, and Deepak Chair, who, of course, Somesh just spoke about. What is your 11, Somesh? Just for the viewers joining us right now, what did you make of this ODI squad and your 11 for this series, please?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously Gaikwad opening with the bold call here is that I want Sai Sudarshan to open with Gaikwad.
Nice.
Because then you have 3 righties to follow. So at least have a lefty somewhere. And I have always been a lefty party. I mean, not politically, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. So Iyer at 3, KL at 4, Sanju 5, Sundar at 6, because I think he has the wherewithal of being a decent batter as well, and also he is a bowling option. Aksar 7. Now, the South Africa series, especially the white ball leg, something very interesting that I want to look at is Deepak Chahar and how fit he is. Because if he's fit and going well, then, I mean, India cannot find a better number 8 in both white ball formats. So, Deepak Char for me would be 8, Kuldeep 9, and Mukesh and Arshdeep are 10 and 11.
Interesting. So I was just chuckling down my salad over there. Gurpreet, what is your making of the ODI? I mean, I know they're not going to prioritize this format for the next 1 or 2 years, and rightly so. Do you think they should bleed in some new talent? Maybe Rajat Patidar, maybe the likes of
Yes,
Sanju Samson.
I was coming to that. See, firstly, I don't think Sanju Samson's a new talent now, but I feel they'll probably go with that 6-5 combination which they had in the World Cup with Hardik being injured. I think they'll keep Shreyas to 4, they'll keep KL to 5, because after a great difficulty, they've found two stable guys at those positions. So they'll probably have Patidar at 3. And then I think when it comes to batting at 6, they'll go with Sanju because that was his spot. Number 7, because Jadeja's not there, they'll go with Akshar. Um, 8, yeah, I think they'll try out Deepak Chahar, and you did hope that he can play all 3 games without breaking down, because that's important. And then you will have Kuldeep and 2 pacers, and Arshdeep's there. It's going to be a good test of control and probably his opportunity to now become a mainstay in the ODI series, because he was given a few games, I think 2-3 games earlier, but wasn't there. And I've just realized that Umran Malik, who was there in the ODI squad for West Indies, is also not there. And this was on the cards because it just felt when it came to his case that the Indian team was excited by the prospect of his pace, but they really did not have the courage or the guts to keep backing him, or groom him. Before the World Cup, it was understandable. Post World Cup, you feel that they should have really, sort of given him a go, because right now in the ODI squad, you don't have an out and out express pacer.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
a
a
good
question
point that
here
you
for
mentioned about
Gurkeeper.
Umran
I
Malik,
mean,
especially in South Africa. So shouldn't they have taken him, someone like him, or do you think they'll bring him back again from the wilderness?
see, I think it should be looked at the other way around. If someone has a very good, I mean, someone of his pace and bounce might be more. I mean, you'd want to see him making an impact on more dead, which is I know it might not sound right, but in South Africa, actually, if you take someone who's have better control, you'll be better served because help to deck se already aayega. You don't really need serious pace there. So I think that is something to look at. I think for a while now, Umran Malik has been a limited bowler, so to speak. Even in the IPL, he has been used in a particular spot where he's not you're not prone to being hit. He's neither bowling in the power play nor bowling in the death. I think in this season they tried something out of him, but had to ultimately drop him. So I think that's there. But I don't want to go back to Gurkirat's 11. I understand, and I completely understand if they go with the 6-5 thing with only focusing on 5 proper bowlers. But in that case, would they be tempted to have Tilak Verma ahead of Rajat Patidar just because Tilak Verma has been ahead in the pecking order lately?
Actually, yeah, it is possible. I actually missed him. I did not realize that he was there, because yeah, if Tilak's there, then he could really be ahead as a number 3. Yeah,
Okay, interesting, guys. Just on the topic of bowlers, because
because he batted at number 3 in that game versus Bangladesh in Asia Cup. So yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, just on the topic of bowlers, guys. Essentially, we obviously know Bumrah's a locked-in all-format player for India, and I know he's not going to be picked for the ODI. I mean, he's been rested or whatever for the ODI and the T20 series. Who do you think should be his base bowling partners going forward? So I'll start with you here. Name me one in each format, please, or two, or whatever you see fit.
See, the most difficult is T20s. No one knows because everyone is struggling. The closest someone has come in terms of finding control has been Mukesh Kumar. So for that reason alone, for now, I would say it would be Mukesh and Bumrah to begin with. ODIs, I think Siraj, he did not have a very good World Cup, but again, he's right up there. So ODIs is not a concern. And similarly for tests, I think Shami is not going anywhere. He's fit. He's running like a horse. If you
No,
believe
but there's a asterisk to his fitness for test matches.
right now, but let's see if he's not there. Then again, I think Prasidh Krishna would be the one who would be playing that test. But ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि they just get carried away with Mukesh Kumar's ODI form recently and pick him, because I think he played in the West Indies test as well. But I would really want Prasidh Krishna to be playing that test if Shami is not available, because I
Don't you
think that's
think?
the format works
Don't you think
best.
they'll pick Shardul Som for the tests?
I mean, that's a separate debate. I think that is a either or scenario between him and Ashwin. That is not going to go anywhere. I would pick Ashwin always, but maybe, I mean, that's just me. Especially against South Africa, who have a lot of lefties.
Yeah, because I think Siraj, Bumrah picked themselves. But who knows who'll be that third partner? Maybe Prasid, because he can hit the deck. In South Africa have pitches which are conducive to pace and bounce. Right, we'll just address a few questions right now, and we'll take as many as we can. So please, of course, like this particular video and subscribe to us if you're new, and tell us what we can do better. What do you want to see in terms of content? We'll definitely be there. Neural Acts, I know you've been asking this for a while right now, so apologies for not taking it earlier, but here we are, Vasant, addressing a question. He goes on to say, guys, more importantly, the question is, how hard would it be for Dravid to have conversation with different captains, because each of them have their own style. Like Dhoni prefers all-rounders, so does KL, VK, 6-5, etc.
Uh, I'm not even sure if KL really has a brand of captaincy yet, because it's a completely different scenario when you are the backup captain. The coach is taking most of the calls, so uh, I feel managing KL should be easy for him, and so should we managing Surya, because again Surya is a backup captain. He's a temporary captain, so he'll also be in line with the with the strategy that Dravid has. And with Rohit, I don't think it should be a problem anyway. Uh, the more important question is that when is Dravid officially signing that extension? Because today he said that he's not signed anything yet, even though BCCI have come out with the press release. But yeah, it is a valid question when you have all three being full time captains. It is going to be difficult to manage, because when you will have a similar coach, when you'll have the same coach, there will and same coach with different player pools, there will be at some point of time some conflict of interest with you know each captain demanding that a certain player play for them in that format. Like if you have three different captains and three different coaches, I think each set of captain and coach would want Bumrah to play, because it's a cheat code. It's very simple. It's a cheat code. So you would want that. You would want Bumrah. So it is going to be difficult, but I think not as of now, when you have only one coach and maybe three captains,
Okay.
two permanent captains.
Somesh, why don't you take this one from Anonymous, who's going absolutely helter-skelter in the comments, playing this one over and over again. Just try making sense of it, and what are your thoughts about it?
See, first and foremost, we don't know if Rohit is playing the T20 World Cup. Right now, he's not selected in this squad quite deservingly, and even nor did KL. So even I put all the three of them in the same conversation. For me, Rohit, Kohli, and KL are way down the pecking order of making it to the T20 World Cup squad. Regarding Jadeja, that's the only thing is because he adds value in three dimensions, which the other three aren't. If Rohit would have been bowling his off spins right now, or probably Kohli would have been using his, what do they call it, wrong-footed in swingers on other teams apart from Netherlands as well, then probably they would have had a case. But that's there. I mean, you cannot put Jadeja and Rohit in the same boat, because Jadeja offers more in all three dimensions.
Okay. Gurkirat, why don't you answer this, I should say, from a new person in the chat. Srinivasa, if you're new, please like it and subscribe. He goes and say, what should Nitish Rana, someone like him, do to get selected in the T20 international scheme of things? We keep speaking about having batsmen who can bowl in the 11, but never seem to pick such players. Rana is bowling full 10 overs for UP in the Vijay Hazare Trophy.
Oh, I don't think he's bowled enough in T20s or in the IPL, and you'd want him to have consistently good seasons in the IPL. The last season was a good one. I think he scored more than 400 runs, but you probably need more. And the problem is that India have not played a lot of T20s to try out a lot of players, and the ones that you've tried out, even those haven't really gotten a lot of games. So he'll have to keep trying out his luck. And the other thing is that as a batter, you may be bowling 10 overs, but you still need to be good in your primary job. So you could bowl 10 overs, but if you're not doing your primary job well enough, I don't think it's going to count. So that is that. So Nitish Rana will get his chances, but I think before that, India have a lot of players who still not have got their due chances. And once that happens and India move on from them, and if Nitish Rana is informed, then he'll probably get that call. And that will always be the case because you have such a big player pool that you will always feel that someone or the other is missing out or is not getting his chances because you can't really do anything about it.
Okay. Keep your comments coming through, of course. Gurkidas and Som will be more than happy to take it for the next one, 20 minutes or something like that. Three captains, three series, just 1.5 years back. We had issues with split captaincy. Completely agree with you. And you relax with Vasan saying now isn't KL the full-time captain for ODIs? You can only guess. Your guess is
I
as
think
good
he
as
pretty much
ours.
is.
He pretty much is. Male Zingani asking, so if Pant plays in the IPL, does well, will he be a pick for the wicketkeeper batter ahead of Ishan and Jitesh?
So if he delivers numbers which are better than Jitesh, then why not? I mean, I'm all up for selecting players based on IPL, but not just one season. I mean, this is just my thing. I feel if players who've done well in multiple seasons of IPL should always be picked ahead of others who've done well in other formats, especially when the T20 comes in. With Pant, I mean, he's not a new guy, so he's already been there and thereabouts. If Pant is fit, I would be interested to see where he bats. If he's, I would want him to open, or if not, at least play at three. Because if Pant plays at three and nails the spot, then it actually solves a lot of headache for India. Then they can just open with Jaiswal and Gill, and Pant naturally comes in at three.
Okay, makes sense. Before I go to Gurkidas, I'll give Som another one over here. Mohammad Arhan, keep your questions coming through, by the way. We will, of course, take them and like and subscribe to the channel because India have, of course, made it quite dramatic by picking all their three formats. Mohammad asking you, Som, do you think India need to split coaching staff across shorter and longer formats too, within Lakshman and Dravid respectively? Good shout out. Join us in the link.
Yeah, I think if you ask me, yes, they should. But at this point of time, I mean, I think there is an overall overhaul needed. I mean, just splitting coaching wouldn't work. At this point of time, I mean, that is not even in the conversation because there are a lot of clarity and transparency that is still to be achieved. So ideally, yes, but I'm not sure if how will they go about it.
Interesting, because I really feel Rahul Dravid probably might get that little extension till ideally the WTC 2025 end of that cycle. Maybe that's wishful thinking for me being a Dravid fan. Gurkirat, what about this? Pranav Mohanlal saying, why Rinku Singh in ODIs? What's the thinking behind Rinku there? New format again for him.
Why not? Because I think he has an average of 58 or 59 in list A cricket. So and has shown decent temperament, and India lack a left-hander anyway in the middle order. So why not? But I'm not sure if he'll get enough chances because if India want to play Samson, then Rinku may not get his chances, and that's also fair because Samson does deserve his game time. If you want to play Rinku, then I think you'll have to move Shreyas at three, Rahul at four, Samson at five, and Rinku at six. Or you could have Rinku at five and Samson at six because Rinku does take a little time to get going, and Rinku at five won't be the worst call either.
Okay. The same man asked Arshdeep over Prasid and ODIs, what did they smoke? I think probably they're smoking some good barbecue chicken. I can't think of anything else.
So I've just seen that all the players who are all the bowlers who are in the test squad, they're not there in the limited over squad. So maybe it's because of that they've chosen to not select Prasid in ODIs, probably avoiding injury or whatever. But yeah, I think Arshdeep is playing only because there's space, and we'll have to see what he does because so far he's not been very impressive in ODIs. In fact, in T20s also he's losing his control, which is very very important. So maybe who knows, if he has a good series, India could really find a left arm pacer or a seamer for the power play role.
Interesting. Sorry, I'm just making my Instagram story so more people can join us in the last 10 minutes or so. Lovely questions coming through. Really, really appreciate all you guys getting chatty with us. Superhero Rise is going on to say this for a while. Best squad that selector could have closed. Hats off. Excited to see tests in South Africa for 2018, and also new players like Rajat and Sai Sudarshan also come back of Sanju and Chahal. Perfect. The last time we played a test in this is not 2018, was like pretty much before that, 2022. So we're going to play South Africa pretty much in quick succession.
I think I agree with this comment. I think selections have been pretty much spot on for a while now, even for the World Cup. There are some noises that are being made about certain players, which is fair because you would always have certain favorites that you would want to see them in India colours and want to see them in action a lot more. But for me, I always look at it this way: if the best 11 is there in the squad, then it's a good squad.
Okay. Sanjay Bharti Sarvanan, good to see you. In test, who will play Iyer, Gaikwad in the middle order, top four seal. Gaikwad is a problem backup opener, and I think Iyer is going to take that place at Rahane because Rahane is not there. I don't know, Sudarshan, if you're absolutely taking a joke, hitting us with some sort of humor, but obviously I don't think Manish Pandey is going to come back in the scheme of things, right? Even though he plays for Delhi Capitals, even Gurkirat would want that.
No, he's released. He's not a part of DC anymore. But yeah, at this point of time, it looks very unlikely that selectors will go back to Manish Pandey. He had his chances. You could probably say that it was unfair to drop him when he got dropped. But at this point of time, it's very difficult to go back to him, especially when you have younger players who are doing well available.
Indeed. Fayaz, good to see you, my friend. Only 2 test matches in South Africa tour is a bummer. Not going to lie. I completely agree. I don't understand why they have 2 test match series, especially against the big playing nations. They should just minimum have 3 indeed. Good to see Som back as well. We'll try to get his connection sorted. BCCI, Amintan Bhatt coaching may believe karti tho ab ICC.
Atmanirbhar.
Atmanirbhar. Sorry, my bad. I literally messed that up. But yeah, keep your comments coming through. Mail Singhani as well. What exactly is the role of a head coach when you have a batting coach or a bowling coach? Is he essentially a strategist?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much a given, right?
For sure, right? Okay, he's probably getting some background noise. So take this from Karan B. What are Samson's chance of getting back in the T20 scheme of things?
Pretty bleak at this point of time because I don't see him batting lower on the order for Rajasthan. And if that's not the case, then I don't know where he fits in. Ideally, at this point of time, if India are trying Ishan Kishan at 3, then Samson has a good chance of actually making a case for himself. He succeeds in that role. But given that he's played, he'll have to just kill this IPL. He'll have to score 600 runs minimum at a strike rate of 140, 145 to make a case. If not, then it would be very tough.
Okay. The audio is quite clear from Som's end, but he's frozen like a robot. I don't know why. Maybe he'll just sort his connection out and come back.
It's for the better. It's for the better if people can't see me and they can only hear.
All right. Sal Nagdev, good to see you as ever. He goes on to, of course, counter Mohammad in the comments saying Rinku has a good domestic record at 5 and is just a T20 specialist. Captains in the last 3 years across formats: Dhawan, Rohit, Virat, Rituraj, KL, Pant, Sky, Hardik Singh, Ankar Biswas, and Prashant Agarwal, who I remember correctly said the Dravid Baga World Cup Bachao campaign. Well, that hasn't happened because he'll have a second go at it. Prashant, don't you think we should groom Sai Kishore for this T20 World Cup? It's too early, man. There's barely enough games. I know the IPL is going to be great, but still, I don't know. It's touch and go. Nuralax going on to say KL, Ishan, who's ahead in tests? If KL or Ishan, which position will they play? KL 100%. Ishan, not a chance in test matches, and I think the boys will agree with me. We want at least 4 test matches against South Africa, saying superhero rises. And Darshan Senthil, he's been good as a captain of White Sky. Pip Rituraj is captain for this series of Australia. Rituraj was Bumrah's vice captain in Ireland and led India in the Asian Games. Even that, I think they recognize that Sky is probably their best T20 asset right now, and they just want to make him lock in. So captain him. And even if Hardik comes back in the long term, I think Sky, if he does well, he'll keep the position as captain. So, you agree? Or Gurkirat comes?
That is just a headache reduced. They know that there is only one player who is a short in the 11, is making the captain, so that ऐसा ना करना पड़े कि इस सीरीज में captain ना, अगली सीरीज में captain ही drop हो.
But is there merit in that to make your best batter your captain, Gurkirat, Som?
I don't mind that, and I think too much is being read into this because Sky is also more experienced. Ruturaj, you are not even sure if he's going to be a part of the first 11. And again, I don't think a lot can be led into what squad or who led India in the Asian Games and those Ireland series as well. Sky wasn't there, so we cannot read too much into vice captaincy in the last 2 years or so because hardly the full squad has been playing. So if the full squad is not available, then vice captaincy is more or less given on the basis of seniority and what is your status in terms of being in the playing 11. So that's about it.
Okay. Some more comments here. We have another 5 minutes, my producer tells me. So keep them coming through. And we really appreciate all you guys joining us right now in this big breaking news. Please like this particular video. 50 likes, appreciate it. Even more, even better. Fayyaz going on to say, nice to see no Rahane and Pujara anymore. They've had their time. Uncle Biswas, why are players like Rana, Parag, Abhishek, Hangarkar, Tiwati don't get chances? I mean, they have really, I don't know how they will get into the.
This question answers
Hunger
itself.
Gaker has a lot of time right now. Hunger Gaker needs to play.
Yeah, I mean, some of these players are even not even regulars for their IPL franchise. To expect them to get chances for India is a little, cute.
And
Yeah,
in
and it's
place of
wishful
who?
thinking.
My question is in place of who? If you have a suggestion that okay you can play, see you have such a big player pool that questioning or saying oh, this player should get a chance doesn't make sense if you can really say that who is that player going to replace. It's something which even ex cricketers and commentators on air will say okay, so a player X should play in the 11, but it doesn't help the audience or anyone if you can't say in place of who. Ideally, everyone should play because those who are in the 15, they are good enough to be in the 11. But if you can't really come up with in place of who, you're not adding value, I feel.
Yeah, food for thought from Gurkira, or shall I say soup for thought because he's still on that diet. Coming in
Yeah,
with
my
more.
cold's not going away, man. It's really been tough.
It's all right. Bless you and bless the guys with the comments as well. Introspect going on to say, oh my God, how did I miss that? Chahal is back in ODIs after being rested for the World Cup. Yes, you saw that 100%. Aditya Jatali, if you're new to the particular community, subscribe right now and like because we'll always take questions of everyone, make them feel special. You go on to say Rohit, Jaiswal, KL, Virat, KL, Iyer, test batting order, KL at 3 because of the opening prize. Agree. Gill, I think, is the ideal situation for that one down role. And Kohli, till he's there, will be
I just
batting at
have
2
one thing
down.
to add.
Yeah.
I just have one thing to add. If KL is keeping, because as per this order, because Jadeja is going to be 7. As per this order, it looks like KL will keep. So if KL is
Mm.
keeping, then him batting at 3 is not sustainable. There's too much workload. So
And
I
anyway,
think
why would you move Gill from 3 when you've just given him one series at a spot where he has said that he wants to play?
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and Virat's locking it for. Jerin Ruffy, apologies. Ishan Prasid playing 3-day inter-squad match coincide with ODI series. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of time out with the India A boys. And Mohammad Arfan going on to say India should really spend time looking for Hardik replacement. Can't rely on him forever. Do you folks have any potential talent to look out for within the domestic circuit? I mean,
The only way to answer this question is if you know any kids around you from the age of 6 to the age of 14 who are yet to decide their career option, just ask them to why. At this point of time, just try become a pace bowling all rounder. Your future is secure if you nail it. Because I mean, this is a spot which is up for grabs in India forever. It will always be up for grabs.
No, but
And
there are some players who I think can be nurtured
yeah,
or be given opportunities. Uh, Vijay Shankar and Dubey I mentioned. There's Prerak
but then you
Mankad.
have the impact player rule. So I mean, you are not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
you're playing
that is something that needs to go out of the window, and it has to go out of the window as soon as possible.
I mean, if Shivam Mavi is a good batter, I would say him, but he's far from it.
but he's
Far,
not even a
far
good
from
bowler. See, that's the point. Right now, that this is the level that we have dropped down to. Anyone who can bowl and can
it.
bat can become Hardik Pandya's replacement. No matter how garbage a batter or a bowler that person is, just because he can do it, he can be Hardik's replacement. That's how it should work.
It's a rare breed, honestly, but you're spot on, Som, because that's how the mentality is. Because we're just like it's fine, koi bhi, but it doesn't work like that, and it shouldn't work like that. Keep your comments coming through. Last 3 minutes, and we'll wrap up, of course. Pranav, really appreciate it. Sorry, I don't like mothering any particular language, but if you found that funny, good on you, and I really, really appreciate your comment. And please subscribe and tell a friend about cricket.com. Atya, I already took your comment. and neural acts with Vasan Singh, but not always the best players, the best captain. For example, Cummins lately. It just makes you think right now in the modern era as well, you don't see that many all-rounder captains, do you? Maybe Mitch Marsh might captain, I'm really wrong, but it's always the batters or the keeper.
There are very few reliable all-rounders in world cricket anyway. Can you name 5 all-rounders who are reliable?
No, and Avnish, I mean, if you go historically, the all-rounder captains have done wonders for the team. Imran Khan.
Back in the day.
I mean, even Ben Stokes is an all-rounder captain. He's undergoing knee surgery so that he can bowl, because England know that if he's not bowling, then what's the point?
But that was always never going to be a long-term solution, right? Maybe like 2, 3 years, 4 years for sure. But he was never going to be captaining like the length of, say,
It's always easier to make. Like, come back to the point. It's always good to have that person as a captain who's going to play for your team regularly. At this point of time, the kind of temperament that Bumrah has, I would love to see him as an Indian captain. But the point is, I don't want Bumrah to play all these, low key series. And if he's not playing them, then you're not setting your team well, because you know that your captain is not going to play half the series. Then how is he going to get time to gel with the players, understand what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses?
So is that why Sky is captain?
And this is a problem. This is a problem which Pakistan have created for themselves by having Shaheen as a T20I captain. Now Shaheen has to play every random bilateral.
Yeah, but at least there he's the T20I captain, and they know that there is a World Cup in 6 months, so they can actually rest him from other formats and just manage with his workload. With Bumrah, I mean, my case is predominantly very different. I mean, in India, at this point of time, we don't have a concept of split captaincy anyway. So if you're going to make Bumrah captain of any particular format, it's a lot on.
That is true. 5 sports going on as he's selected at this point, making a mockery of Akshar and Sanju. Yeah, absolutely. Even Chahel, you could add to that list. Raj Baba is one aspect. Deepak Chahar is another closest call.
Raj Baba has played 2 T20s in his entire career right now, and both in the IPL.
It's insane. What are these balloons?
I don't know. Every time I want these balloons.
Hello, what is that graphic, bro? We've never seen that in StreamYard. Is that because of the Indian announcement?
Is it Somesh's birthday today?
Wow, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that in StreamYard history. Balloons pop up.
It's happening to me on Google Meets as well, randomly.
Bro, you need to get in touch with the IT team. They're crazy.
Why just my window all of a sudden?
Ridiculous. And Ankar, we're trying to answer the same thing, man, and ask everyone, how come in a country of 145 crores we don't have a replacement for Hardik? It is quite crazy. It is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, it's mad. Guys, look, we can go on and on and on, and we will in tomorrow's watch along. So, of course, join us then. It's a similar crew who will be picking the bones about the India versus Australia live game. We'll react to all of that. And Neural Hacks saying it's actually his birthday.
Happy birthday
to you, Neural Hacks, and have a fantastic day ahead. Make it a trailer for a fantastic year ahead, my friend. And good on you to join us in the live chat on your birthday. Right, time to wrap up because we've really promised a 1 hour sort of deadline on this. But join us in the watch along, like I said. Som will be there. Wicketkeeper will be there. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. We'll be there 5 minutes earlier if you guys are lucky. And we'll take it from there. But it's been a big day in terms of team news and the squad announcement. You can rewind if you've just joined us right now. And if you have, please hit the like button and subscribe. And tell a friend about cricket.com because we're upwards and onwards 40K on YouTube and on Instagram and X. Don't even ask. We're way, way ahead of everyone else. Right. Thanks so much. And Gukirat. We'll, of course, catch you guys soon. Really appreciate both of you guys making time in this little breaking sort of episode on a Thursday. And we'll leave it there. The Rainbow Nation beckons soon. Catch us on cricket.com for all the coverage. Until then, goodbye from us.